Long Beach, California, United States. August 2, 1964. The Long Beach International Karate Championships. A packed auditorium. Hundreds of martial artists, judges, and spectators filling every seat. The air thick with chalk dust, leather, and the particular electricity of competition. On the stage, a young Chinese man steps forward to give a demonstration. He is lean, almost impossibly lean. 135 pounds. He looks to many in that room like someone who got lost on the way to a dance recital. The laughter starts quietly, then it spreads. They will stop laughing in approximately 5 minutes. This is the story of the single public moment that transformed Bruce Lee from an unknown into a force that the entire martial arts world could no longer ignore. It is 1964, and Bruce Lee is nobody. Not yet. He runs a small kung fu school in Seattle. He has a handful of dedicated students. He has competed in some local tournaments and impressed a small circle of practitioners. But beyond that inner circle, his name means nothing. In the grand hierarchy of American martial arts in 1964, dominated by Japanese and Korean systems, karate, judo, taekwondo, a young Chinese man teaching Wing Chun-based street combat is, to most people in that auditorium, a curiosity at best. Ed Parker, the legendary Hawaiian-born Kenpo karate master and founder of the Long Beach Championships, has invited Bruce Lee to perform a demonstration. Parker has seen something in Lee that others have missed, something electric, something that does not yet have a name, but the audience has not seen it yet. And when Bruce Lee walks onto that stage, slight, young, almost boyish, many of them decide before he throws a single technique that they already know what they are looking at. They are wrong. But to understand just how wrong they are, we need to understand what Bruce Lee is carrying onto that stage with him. There is no single opponent on that stage in Long Beach. The opponent is something harder to fight, a room full of experts who have already made up their minds. Understand who is sitting in those seats. These are not casual observers. The Long Beach International Karate Championships in 1964 is one of the most prestigious martial arts events in America. The audience includes black belts, grandmasters, serious competitors who have trained for decades. Men who have broken boards, broken bones, and broken each other in legitimate competition. Men who believe with complete conviction that they understand what real martial arts looks like. And what real martial arts looks like, to them, is not this. Not a 135-pound Chinese kid with no tournament record, no recognized lineage in any Japanese or Korean system, and a style that most of them have never heard of. The skepticism in that room is not born from cruelty. It is born from expertise. These men have devoted their lives to their craft, and their craft has given them a filter, and through that filter Bruce Lee does not pass. One witness, martial artist and future action star Mike Stone, who is present that day, later recalls the atmosphere as openly dismissive before Lee even begins. The whispers, the crossed arms, the raised eyebrows exchanged between senior practitioners. But what none of them have accounted for is what happens when Bruce Lee decides to show, not tell, what he is. Bruce Lee steps to the center of the stage. He does not speak immediately. He surveys the room, calm, almost eerily still for a man about to perform in front of hundreds of skeptics. This stillness is not an accident. It is a philosophy made physical. Lee believes, at his core, that martial arts in America have become a performance, a collection of beautiful, elaborate movements designed to impress in competition and fail in reality. He has said in private conversations with his students, "Boards don't hit back." He means it as a critique of an entire culture, the culture of breaking demonstrations, point sparring, and choreographed forms that look devastating and accomplish nothing. What Lee is about to do on this stage is not a performance in the traditional sense. It is an argument. A living, breathing, moving argument that everything this audience thinks they know about the limits of human speed and combat application needs to be reconsidered. He begins with his 1-inch punch demonstration. He asks for a volunteer from the audience. A large man, a legitimate martial artist, not a plant, not a setup, steps forward and stands before Lee with a pad held against his chest. The audience watches with folded arms. Some smile. The distance between Lee's fist and the volunteer's chest is 1 inch. Literally 1 inch. No windup, no chamber, no telegraphing. What they don't know, what they cannot know by looking at him, is that Bruce Lee has been training this specific technique for years. Not as a trick, as a proof of concept. A demonstration that power is not about size, not about muscle mass, not about the long, looping strikes that dominate tournament competition. Power, Lee believes, is about the transfer of total body energy through a single point of contact in a fraction of a second. The volunteer braces himself. He outweighs Lee by at least 60 pounds. He is a trained martial artist. He is ready. Lee looks at the volunteer. He exhales once. And then Bruce Lee does something that makes the laughter die in every throat in that auditorium. The punch lands. The volunteer, 60 pounds heavier, braced, prepared, trained, flies backward. Not stumbles, not staggers, flies. He crashes into the chair placed behind him as a safety measure, and the chair skids across the stage floor. The auditorium goes silent, not the polite silence of an audience waiting for the next act. The stunned silence of 500 experts simultaneously recalculating everything they thought they understood. Lee does not celebrate. He does not smile at the crowd or gesture for applause. He simply resets, ready, still, as if what just happened was not remarkable to him, because to him it isn't. It is simply physics, simply truth made visible. He then demonstrates his 2-finger push-ups, index finger and thumb, both hands, then one hand. He demonstrates speed drills that several witnesses will later describe as literally difficult to track with the naked eye. His punches, thrown in rapid combination, blur in the auditorium lights. And then he demonstrates his fighting philosophy, fluid, direct, economical. No wasted movement, no theatrical wind-up, just pure applied intention. Martial artist and future Bruce Lee collaborator Dan Inosanto is in that auditorium. He will later say the demonstration does not just impress him, it destabilizes him. Everything Inosanto has trained, every assumption about range and timing and power, suddenly feels incomplete. By the time Bruce Lee steps back from center stage, the room that laughed at him has transformed into something else entirely. The immediate aftermath is visible on faces. Witnesses describe senior martial artists, men who came in skeptical, approaching Lee afterward with genuine questions. Not challenges, questions. The body language has shifted from dismissal to hunger. Ed Parker, watching from the side of the stage, later says he knew from the moment Lee threw his first technique that the American martial arts world would never be quite the same. Parker becomes one of Lee's most important early advocates, helping create the network of connections that will eventually lead Lee to Hollywood. James Coburn is in the audience that day. So is screenwriter Sterling Siliphant. Within months, both men will become Bruce Lee's private students, paying significant sums for personal instruction from a man the martial arts establishment had dismissed 48 hours earlier. The Long Beach demonstration does not make Bruce Lee famous overnight, but it plants a seed in the right soil. The people who needed to see it, and they never forget it. There is something almost uncomfortable about the Long Beach story if you sit with it long enough. 500 experts, men who had devoted their lives to understanding human physical capability. And almost all of them, before Bruce Lee threw a single technique, had already decided what he was. They were not stupid. They were not malicious. They were simply prisoners of their own expertise, looking at the world through a framework so well constructed that it could not accommodate what it had not yet seen. Bruce Lee understood this. He did not try to argue his way past their skepticism. He did not explain his philosophy or cite his credentials or ask for a fair hearing. He simply showed them. He once said, "Knowing is not enough. We must apply, willing is not enough, we must do." Long Beach, California, August 2, 1964. A stage, a skeptical room, 1 inch of distance between a fist and a chest. 5 minutes later, 500 experts are silent. Not because Bruce Lee told them something they didn't know, because he showed them something they couldn't explain. The next time someone underestimates you before you've thrown a single punch, remember Long Beach. Don't argue, don't explain, show them.